All right. My absolute pleasure to be chatting once again with Dallas Green and Nathaniel Rateliff. You guys are coming to play a big show at the Dome here in Calgary, February 12th. Um, I don't know about you guys. I don't know that it's often it comes up for me anyways that we do these like three-person interviews. Like I've done interviews with groups of people before, but all from the same band. I
Hmm.
don't know that I've ever done interviews with multiple artists at the same time. I feel like what I usually see is two artists interviewing each other. So I was almost curious if you guys had questions for each other or anything that you planned to discuss, maybe backstage, bring up with each other, you'd been meaning to ask when the tour does officially kick off.
Well, we were already talking about guitars, and
Yes.
we're talking about it being very much winter for most of the cities we're traveling through.
Hmm.
And I live in Colorado, right at the foot of the mountains, so I'm not a stranger to it. I love the winter. I got my Kubota tractor ready to plow. I got to plow my own drive. So
Yeah.
uh, there's certain things doesn't matter. You know, consider yourself successful. You can't get away from chores. I still got to take out the damn trash, and you got to plow to get there. So, but yeah, we were talking about what movies we like to watch in the middle of winter. So that kind
Hmm.
of thing. I've been reading lately, so that's been we haven't got into the books, but I've been reading the Levon Helm autobiography. It's really great. So
Oh,
this Wheels
nice.
on Fire, yeah,
It'll be
Yeah.
good. It'll be good.
which is
Eh,
tons. The beginning of the book is mostly based in Toronto and surrounding areas. So it's kind of interesting to be reading about what was going on there in the 50s and early 60s when they
mhm.
were
Yeah.
traveling through with Ronnie Hawkins. So yeah.
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 Crazy. Much different than it is now. Fuck.
I,
Oh, I just
yeah.
swore on the radio, of course. Um, yeah, sorry about that. You can bleep that out or something in real time, can't you?
Oh,
I
of
don't know.
course. Of course. We're good.
Um,
We're good. And
you know
for
what?
yourself, Dallas.
I was gonna ask Nate when we first started talking before, because I know you've played up in Canada a bunch of times, but I was wondering if are there a bunch of cities that we're going to that you haven't been to?
I've never
Or
been to Victoria Island, so I'm excited
okay,
about that. I've never
amazing,
been to Nova Scotia at all, so
amazing. Okay,
stoked to go to Halifax. And actually, Matt Stanky, Dallas and I have someone in common. Matt, who used to be Dallas's guitar tech, is now my guitar tech, and Dallas and Matt are very close. But now Matt and I are very close, and so Matt and I were talking about maybe trying to go see the Northern Lights
oh
because this year is
yeah,
a really crazy
Oh
year
yeah.
for him
Yeah.
and extending our stay. But it's been kind of a pain in the well, I was going to swear and I stopped myself. Look at
Go ahead.
that.
No, you're good. I'll bleep
Yeah,
if need be. We'll pre-record. We'll be all
yeah,
right.
it was a real pain in the tuchus. You know, to try to find some place. And I saw that like this place called Churchill at the top of Manitoba
Hmm.
is like the spot to go to,
Yeah.
but it also looks, sometimes at the end of the tour, you don't want to have a
yeah,
vacation. Like coming home feels more like vacation to me. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a couple other cities I'm just stoked to go to, and I have friends in Winnipeg, so it's like nice to see them. So yeah,
that's
And
great.
coming back to something we kind of touched on too is in regards to, touring through Canada in February, specifically touring or trying to travel through Manitoba in February might not be the easiest task.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I, I definitely had flights canceled to Manitoba in better weather
Yeah,
Yeah,
seasons. So we'll
definitely.
see.
yeah.
Definitely. Chatting with Dallas Green and Nathaniel Rateliff, coming to play the Dome in February. Dallas, I have a specific question for you, and that is,
Okay.
do you have any difficulties in changing gears from playing with Alexis on Fire to playing with City and Color? I saw stretches of shows recently where you kind of went back and forth, and you've got the Born and Raised Festival in your hometown of St. Catharines later this year, back-to-back nights playing with Alexis on Fire and then playing with City and Color.
No, I mean, there's not really like, I think as I've gotten older too, I've realized that the confusion about it really lies with everyone else.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm not confused about the fact that I do one and do the other. Never
Hmm.
have been. It's
Okay.
just I like right before this, I was showing Nathaniel this crazy guitar I have that I play in that band. That's just like, you know, a crazy rock machine, and I love that. And then I'll show him something else that's the other side of it. And so for me, I'm the same person. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like the other thing too is like all the crew is pretty much the same as well. So it's like I'm with a bunch of my friends,
Mhm.
and then like a couple of my friends leave, and then a couple of my other friends show up, and I'm still playing a guitar and singing in a band, you know? And
Right.
so uh, that I'm very grateful for, to be able to have both of those experiences,
Mhm.
and for the really more simultaneously than I have ever had it in my life now. And if you had asked me that 10 years ago, there was there's a good chance that I would have said, I never saw this coming. So I couldn't be happier about it.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah,
Okay, so the confusion lies with everybody else.
I think so. And I don't mean to
Okay.
be rude about that. I just think that everybody, yeah,
You're
I'm
just
just up there playing.
you're playing music on stage for you. That's what it
Yeah,
comes down to.
you know what I mean? And it's like, that's, that's what it comes down to. So some of it's just different. Some of it's louder.
Mhm. Okay, so I've got
That's
a,
it.
specific question for you now, Nathaniel. This is something that I've asked Dallas in the past. When putting together a live album, how do you pick the songs that are going to be featured for that live record?
You know, our first live record was at Red Rocks, and to be brutally honest, I was pretty hammered a lot back then. So I kind of rely on Pat Meese, who's my drummer. He and I also do a lot of production stuff together. And um, when we were making records with Richard Swift, it was a lot of times me and him. Um, so yeah, I kind of lean into Pat for advice when I'm not sure what to do. And then for when I did the solo record at Red Rocks live during the pandemic, it was really just a way to get that show out, since we had only got to play 10 shows before the pandemic hit for that album, and it's still all right. I really just wanted to present what we were doing, and so people would get to have that experience, because I didn't know that I get to do it again. But I did actually last November. We did a whole tour with it, which similar to you, Dallas. It's like people show up and they're like, "Well, this isn't what I thought I was going to see," because it's still, it's still Nathaniel Rateliff, and I think they show up and they want to hear SOB, and they're hearing and it's still all right, and other songs that are completely different,
Hmm.
but same thing, same group of guys, same,
Yeah,
like horns leave, quartet comes in, like
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
another
So
drummer comes in. Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, so yeah.
So kind of following this this same wavelength, this is something that went around the radio station here recently. I went around and asked all the jocks here if there was any songs that they were sick of hearing on the radio station, and I will give you our consensus on this once we get through this. So I'm curious if there is any songs that you guys are maybe a little bit tired of playing from your own catalog, and we will flip this as well, a song that you will never get sick of playing.
Wow, I was like, how are you setting us up to tell us that our songs were voted
No, no,
the
no.
most of it?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I was
Oh,
like, oh, okay.
oh. We
Wow.
set up an interview. We are
Yeah.
gonna tear you guys down. Get ready for
Yeah.
this.
I was like, holy, this is an interesting angle.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think among most musicians I know, their biggest hits are their least favorite songs.
Probably, yeah.
That seems to be pretty common. And I feel that way. Like SOB for us was like, it was a bit of a fluke, and I didn't intend to put it on the record because it
Mhm.
it didn't really feel like me. It felt like a portion of me, but I certainly connect to other songs a lot more. And I think there's other songs that, in my opinion, um, are better examples of what I do overall, and even as a singer and a writer. Um, but there's like, some people might know, but I don't personally know the secret to writing a song that's going to be a radio success. Um, I just continue to write songs that I like. And when I wrote SOB, I did like it. And I noticed how, like, it was fun to play because of the reaction you got from the audience. Um, But then after a while, those big songs that become hits can also kind of pigeonhole you as well. So we danced pretty carefully about how hard we pushed that song. And even though that record did really well, we started to push Need Never Get Old, which is another really big song of ours. And I actually really love that one and never get tired of playing it. And, and there's a couple other songs that have done well that I feel the same about. And I think sometimes it's just like when you're playing a similar set every night, you start to get tired of a lot of the songs. And then we have a whole new record we're sitting on of material, but I can't really play all of that for this show. You know,
Yeah.
You don't want to screw over your audience or your listeners by doing stuff that they don't hear at all.
Yeah.
But keeping them interested is important too. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's easy to tire of a lot of stuff, but the big hits are usually the ones you get tired of first. So
okay, Dallas, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I haven't had like I haven't had a song, I don't think, do what SOB kind of did with you guys or for you guys. But I definitely have songs that I've been playing for a very long time that, there's part of me that does it for the people who are there to listen. I know that, but I also know that I wouldn't play something, and I've always sort of subscribed to this kind of way of doing it, that I will not play something that I don't really want to play. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've done this my whole career where a lot of people get mad at me for not playing certain songs, or and I'm okay with that as well, because my theory has always been, if I play the songs that I really feel good about at this particular moment in my life, you are going to get the best version of me when you come see me.
Right.
And if I'm up there playing a bunch of songs that I don't connect to at all anymore, because maybe I wrote them when I was 17 in high school and they ended up on a record that came out when I was 25, and now I'm 43 years old, that I just don't feel connected to. If I'm up there playing a bunch of stuff like that, then you're just getting this sort of like, I'm just standing up there doing what you want me to do and taking a paycheck home or something, and it loses all meaning to me, So I've always tried to just find a way to, like, I'm going to play the songs I want to play, but a lot of the times I'm playing a bunch of the ones that people want to hear too. And I think I've made a really good effort to be honest about that with the people who listen to me, even the ones that are mad at me after the show that I didn't play the song that, I've had people be like, oh man, I've seen you 14 times and you still haven't played, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Stage, I'll say, like, I know that I will have upset some of you that I didn't play what you wanted me to hear, but I truly hope that one of the 17 other songs has been sufficient. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at with it all. So
will you cut a song in the middle of the set if you decide you don't feel it?
Like 100%.
Yeah.
All the time, because I think another thing I've learned about myself, Nate, too, is like, just from doing it for so long, is like, I know that when I make myself feel the most comfortable, where I can just be free and think about what I'm doing up there, like singing and playing, that is when I unlock, like, my most comfortable state becomes, I think, the best shows, because then I'm not getting too into my head about the whole thing, and I'm just doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, right? So I'll look down at the set and see something and go, I cannot sing that right now or tonight. I just know I can't. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, we're moving past this or whatever, because you have to, I don't know. I have to learn. I've learned so much. I've walked off stage bummed out enough times that I've started to try to find this new kind of way of doing that. You know what I mean? Where I'm like,
so having that balance of still doing what you want to do and less of it being like a dance monkey, do what I want you to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's just never been what I've been presenting. And I don't think you are either, Nate. So we kind of also, I think we live in a space where we can kind of dictate a lot of that, which I'm very grateful for, to have the sort of control to do that,
Okay. And the consensus by the way, was Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit. I think everybody is kind of sick of.
Tired of?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Add that to the set.
that
Pretty
was
good
the big
song.
one for us. So
It's not a bad song. Yeah.
Yeah.
not that it's a
It's
bad
not my
song, but
favorite
like
Nirvana song.
No, it's pretty good though.
with alt rock radio is like Smells Like Teen Spirit is the one that has been like absolutely hammered to
Yeah.
death for
Yeah.
a lot of us. I appreciate how much in depth you've gone with everything that I've asked. It's more than I could have even possibly asked for. So thank you. Looking forward to new music, the music that's already out, and the big show on the way, February 12th at the Dome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Justin.
pal.
Appreciate you.
Cheers. Okay, we will.